try to be with him. But you always end up in the dark. With me. What would they think of you if they found out all the things you've done? If they knew who you really were. Stop me.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 114 of Revisiting Sunnydale. I am Camila.
And I'm Marcella.
And boob sweat, because it's so hot. It's so hot.
Boob sweat's the worst. I don't know if boob sweat or ass crack sweat.
I don't know. I think
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think there is a very close. It's very close in there, but like the worst is like when I feel the dripping, like I feel the sweat actually rolling down, and I think something is on me. Like,
yep,
bugs.
I don't even like head sweat when you can feel it rolling towards your eye, and then it inevitably gets in your eye, and then you can't see.
It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But oddly enough, I still think I enjoy this more than I like cold, like
me too.
2-degree temperatures and stuff.
I posted on one of my socials that the Dollar General already has their fall stuff out. Like the aisle, they've got the pumpkin spice brooms. I don't want to smell pumpkin ever, first of all.
Pumpkin spice brooms? Yes,
they're like these brooms that are decorative that you can hang on the wall, and they smell like pumpkin spice.
Oh, good grief.
No, thank you.
No. I don't, I'm not really a big fan of the pumpkin spice smell or any of that.
Or anything pumpkin at all.
Yeah.
But then they also have Halloween candy out. If I buy Halloween candy, well, number one, it's Corona. I don't think Halloween even exists this year.
Exactly. There's no way.
It's not going to happen.
Trick-or-treating? Come on now.
Right. Trick-or-treating may be canceled forever. When's the next time you're going to let your child go to a stranger's house and get candy?
Exactly. And why would I want like 1,000 people like rolling up on my house to get candy?
Like, fuck off.
Right.
Get out of here. I don't want you bringing your Corona to me, and I don't want to, if I have it, give it to you.
Right.
Like, stay away from me.
Yeah, digging in the communal bowl. No, thank you.
Right. No. And number two, if I buy Halloween candy right now, I will have to buy candy again before Halloween.
That's gone. I'm going
to eat it.
This is July still. Like, there's no way. There's no way to last. If I buy Halloween candy on October 1st, there's more than likely I'm going to have to buy more.
Which is why I end up paying like $5 a bag, because I end up waiting until the night before.
Right.
And there's nothing left, and I have to buy that really expensive bag that nobody wanted.
That giant bag.
Yes.
With like, usually, and it's not even like the real goods. It's like the crackles and like stuff like.
Which I love crackle.
Do you? I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
And then 4 kids come, and I'm stuck with 500 pieces of candy.
So I guess, we don't have to worry about that this year, because I'm definitely not. Even if they do try to be yeah, sure, like, nope, not on Whipple,
lights off,
not in this house.
Nope. And I'm gonna like rope off my steps. No, thank you. Don't even come near my door. Just don't do it.
Yeah, seriously, like, nah, no thanks. So
I have 2 pieces of quick little discussion topics. Number one is I recently started rewatching Room 104 on HBO. Have you watched it?
I have. I watched the first season and I think half of the second season, and I definitely saw this episode that you're talking about. I got so excited.
I was so excited too for FOMO.
Right.
It's the second season, first episode, and it guest stars our lovely little Tom Lang.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's so twisted.
I know.
Like season 1, I feel, of Room 104, for those that have not watched it, it's I guess you could call it an anthology series, right? They're all different.
Yeah, but they
week.
all take place in the same hotel room, and it's also Room 104 or motel room, I guess, and it's all like spans different time periods.
Yeah. And each story is different. And the first season, I feel they were
I think
more
this
dramatic, compelling.
Yeah, I think this is also what was created by Mark Duplass. I think his brother
Yes.
also, but I really like those guys.
Yeah, the brothers.
Yeah.
But this episode, it's not just dark. It's real fucked up. But it's really good.
If I recall, it's some girl's birthday, right?
Right.
And she's like making everybody hang out with her, basically.
Well, no, it's her and her two best friends. And
her sister shows up.
Yeah, her sister shows up, and her sister's forcing them to like still hang out, and they hate her.
Right.
And then it takes a really, really weird turn.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good, and Tom Lenk was really good in it, and I was really happy to see him in something other than Joss Whedon.
Right, and it's like, and they have some really great guest stars on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, dude who plays Dwight Schrute.
He was in a really strange one too.
That was so creepy, and and I was just kind of like,
I was like, can we get to the point already?
Yeah, it took a long time, and I was rather tense though. Like, is this what's going to happen or not? Because
I was like, did you do it or not? Are we talking about this? And then we weren't even talking about what I thought we were talking about the whole time.
Yeah. I think Michael Shannon was in one.
Yes, where he was a Russian gangster.
Yeah.
He did a rap.
Yes.
And it was good.
It was so good. I'm like, I would buy your CD, sir.
Right? What's her, not Judy Greer? Is that her name?
Yes, I think, yeah.
I think she was in that one with him.
Yeah, I think so.
But they're all over the board. It's a really good, and there's 3 seasons, I think, on HBO Max right now, and I think a 4th season is coming.
I think so. Like I said, I don't think I finished watching season 2, and I just saw that my DVR started to record more episodes, so I guess a new season is out now.
Yeah.
So
if you like that, like Twilight Zone kind of feel, definitely hit up Room 104. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I also I appreciate things because it's not easy to pull off a good and compelling story in one setting. In one scene. So that's really cool. I like the fact that they do that, and it's all taking place in the same room basically. Mm-hmm. And so some of them are funny.
They
some
spend a lot on that room because it gets fucked up every single episode. Did you see the one with the 2 MMA fighters?
I think so. I know
they destroyed that room.
Yeah.
Even knocked down the wall. It was real bad.
So yeah, I would absolutely highly suggest checking out Room 104 on HBO.
The second bit of news, after having listened to Camila's other podcast,
the #1 movie in America,
I was listening to the CB4 episode, and you were talking about how Tenet went dark. How they just decided, Warner Brothers was like,
never mind.
We don't know.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. Stop asking.
So on Monday, they decided that it will debut internationally starting on August 26th before opening in select cities in the U.S. over Labor Day weekend on September 3rd.
Okay. If y'all say so. I don't.
Can you just give me VOD? I really don't want to go to the theater, and I really want to see this.
I'm not going to the theater. I don't give a shit if, whatever. They can release it all they want. I'm still waiting until it comes on VOD. But I just don't understand. I know it's all about the money, and it's all about the clout, and it's the only reason why they're holding off all this. And it's just Christopher Nolan wants to break records, or he wants to be the first film that's out, after pandemic in a theater, and it's all really selfish. It's all very self-serving, the reasoning for him. He
just give me this damn movie,
right? Stop talking about it. Just be about it. Damn. So
can we talk about for a minute how pretty Robert Pattinson is?
I mean, he's all
and
right.
How pretty. What's the other one's name?
Denzel's son.
John David Washington. Is it John David?
Denzel's son? Yeah, I think that's.
I think
his
it's
name.
John David.
Yeah, he's also very handsome, and Robert Pattinson,
so handsome. I'm like, please just let me go stare at these pretty men for 2 hours.
Robert's not bad. He's just not really my cup of tea. I just still.
Have you seen his? What is it? He has an ad campaign that I will find on YouTube and send to you.
Okay.
that might change your mind.
Speaking of like randos, I watched like Orlando Bloom has a new-ish movie out on VOD right now. I had forgotten how pretty he was, and he's all like kind of buffed up now. And also, sorry to hear about your dog, buddy. Like that sucks. Like everything that happened with that.
But did you read about it? I have one major question.
How does he know the dog is dead?
Yes, you just found his collar.
Right.
That doesn't mean that he is dead.
I think somebody just stole it.
Yes,
somebody.
He might be dead to you.
Right. Mighty is living a good life, I'm sure, somewhere. Like somebody just snatched him up somewhere. I don't think he's dead.
I'm like, what do you mean you found his collar?
Like, and why would and that's not like if they're that's not a clear sign. If you just found his collar, like how is that a clear sign that he's dead? Like, did he take it off and go wander off somewhere and die? Like, did he take his collar off and was like, oh, I'll leave this here for Orlando to find? And he crawled under.
Was it blood soaked?
Right. Well, it's just yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I sadly need more information. But somewhere Mighty's looking at social and he's like, what the well, I'm just on vacation. I just wanted to disconnect and leave my phone behind. I
just needed some me time, Lando.
Right? Like, he comes knocking on the door like, I'm back.
Sorry?
Hey, you got a tattoo. Hey, that's a sad tattoo. I wasn't dead. Jeez.
Have a little faith, man. And also I didn't know that him and Katy Perry were a thing, but whatever.
And having a child.
Yeah, sure. Okay. But this is my public service announcement about this newish movie that has come out. Is that it's called Retaliation. Apparently this movie was made in 2017.
Whew.
Plus side is that, or this is a side of Orlando I have never seen. And also I was like, as I was watching it, I was hard pressed to remember anything else he had been in other than Lord of the Rings franchise.
Pirate.
Right. After I looked at the IMDb, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I actually saw him in. But
I keep meaning to watch his Amazon show, Carnival Row.
Yeah, I doubt I don't know. But like he's good in this movie, but the movie is called Retaliation. And the trailer that they show is very like pumped up and hard and just like, oh my God, there's going to be so much retaliation. Look, there's no retaliation that happens. This is a spoiler alert for this movie. And originally, apparently, this film was called Romans. So, I mean, if you're going in to watch Orlando go nutso and kill a bunch of people, it's not going to happen. That's why I was there. That's what the trailer leads you to believe. That's what the title leads you to believe. That's not what it is. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. So the original title, Romans, which is a reflection of the book in the Bible. If you know anything about that, then that kind of gives you a better understanding. If you're into like the art house, telling a good story, whatever type films, that's it. But like if I had gone in not expecting, I probably would have liked it a little bit more, but I was just like really let down. So skew what you're anticipating if you choose to go see this.
Where did you watch it on?
Vudu, I think. Or no, it was on VOD on Comcast. But it's like everywhere on VOD. It was just released. And so, yeah. And that's my little PSA about Orlando Bloom. But he's like super, super jacked in it. And he looks great.
He does look. He has aged.
But there's also
well.
some very questionable scenes that you might have. There was some stuff I had to fast forward.
I read the synopsis of the content. I'm like, ooh, this sounds. I don't know if I want to see him whine.
See him what?
See him like whiny and sad. And
is he not really whiny and sad? It's mostly the stuff that he does to himself with Vaseline and a stick. So
when he's like,
I'm not even sure it's an actual like full-fledged dildo. It's like I think it's just a stick. It's so upsetting.
In several movies I've seen him in, when he gets emotional, he gets like real whiny, and he gets like a Hayden Christensen kind of tone to his voice.
Yeah. Was he American in those movies?
Yeah.
He is not American in this one, so I think that probably helps.
Yeah.
I don't.
His American is pretty.
Yeah, I don't recall where. I couldn't figure out where it takes place. Like the accent was too rough to be British, but also too light to be Irish. So I wasn't quite sure. Like it wasn't exactly Cockney. So like maybe it was Wales. Like I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Season 6, Episode 13, Dead Things. Original air date February 5th, 2002. Written by James A. Kuntner. Directed by Stephen S. DeKnight. I think, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after Andrew and Jonathan watch Warren kill his ex-girlfriend Katrina, they try to make Buffy think she did the crime.
I, again, didn't like the IMDb and other synopsises I saw for this one. They all say that the trio accidentally killed Katrina. That's not what happened.
Warren murdered her.
Warren murdered her.
Straight up.
And poor Jonathan and Andrew watched it happen.
Right. So we start off with Buffy and Spike doing it again. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
We got our guest stars, the normal folks. But the new is Melinda Smith as Katrina Cyber. So, yeah, we start off with Spike and Buffy doing it again.
Loudly.
Yeah, and just filthily. And this,
violently.
And Buffy does a quick shout out to the New Kids on the Block, much appreciated.
Which we've seen, that is much appreciated, but we've seen the walls of your bedroom many times before, and I've never seen that poster.
There's ne'er a New Kids poster on that room, in that room.
No.
But my big concern is about the random diseases that Buffy might be picking up from all of this.
On the floor of this crypt?
Yeah, are off the floor of the crypt and the fucking in that abandoned house in the dumpster
in that
alley.
Rug?
Yeah,
Since he has a tendency to get his things at the dump.
Right.
Who knows if
exactly.
he got that cleaned and sanitized?
She's got her ass all open everywhere. That's just not.
And he has a perfectly good bed right there.
Is it a real bed or is it just a crypt with a tomb with a sheet on it?
Ew. It could be just a tomb with a sheet on it. Well, him and Harmony, I think, is it the same place he had with Harmony when he first came to town?
I don't think so, because I think that
they
place
had a real bed.
Yeah, that place they did, because no, it can't be the same place, because weren't they doing the drilling and stuff there for him to find all those? Yeah, the ring of Amara,
and this is under the crypt.
Yeah, so this is a new spot.
Now, I will say right off the bat, this episode used to be very high on my list. Watching it with today's eyes is a little hard.
It's rough. Like the whole thing with the trio. It's
real rough.
The whole thing with the trio is really, and it's also, I guess we'll get there, but this is definitely, it almost feels like the moment where the show shifts to like much more adult like content.
Yeah.
Because Buffy and Spike doing it in the alley or them doing it in the wherever else in the abandoned house, that was a lot. It was a little bit graphic, but not as graphic as things get here.
Yeah.
And especially the further along it goes, Spike calls her an animal at this point. Yep. All the things you do, like the things that he says in this moment, it's like, my God.
It's like, whoa, hey, and she kind of likes it and is kind of offended all at the same time. Right.
And, he's like, admits, no one has ever made him feel the way that she does and blah, blah, blah. And then he wants to know, like, what is this? What does it all mean? Does she even like him? And she admits that sometimes she does. And then he just pulls out handcuffs. Like, what? I don't.
What are we talking? Why? What's going on here? It's real gross.
It is. But I will say that this entire relationship with Spike and Buffy is much hotter than all three of the 50 Shades movies. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Those movies.
And it's only, I mean, I'm sure it was very hot, but it's only gross because I don't know where you just had those handcuffs. I'm gonna need a wet wipe or something before we even know. And we got to get off this rug. There needs to be some showering that occurs.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand how she just goes home, because she was complaining that she needs to get home to Dawn. But I mean, you just
handcuffs. Dawn who?
Yeah, exactly. And you just like stink of sweat and dead man sweat, dead man sex.
Not to mention, Dawn is like 16 by now. Like, that girl can watch herself.
She's fine. I mean, she's not the key. Nobody's
Nobody
looking
cared
for
before.
you.
Why do you care
Right.
now?
Nobody's coming for you, Dawn. Like nobody cares.
Our adorable little nerd trio, I guess, has decided that they need to live together, maybe?
I guess that they're on the lam is what they think.
Yeah.
They feel like Buffy's looking for them, and for whatever reason, like they're still in the same lair, right?
Right.
Where they were,
I believe it's the same.
where Willow found them. So
Right.
why is this necessary for you guys to be holed up together? Basically,
Unless it's a different basement. It might be, maybe they were at Andrew's before,
maybe.
or Jonathan's, whose mom was worried. He was worried about their mom's
I
flowers.
think maybe Andrew.
So now they may be in Warren's basement,
Maybe, which is worse.
which is worse because it looks it's their that built that board where they had their shit written on it,
Mm-hmm.
and the chair and that little setup is not in this room. So I think it is a different basement.
Okay.
But they're all upset about, like, Andrew's upset that Jonathan's touching his Frampton Comes Alive album.
Which, okay, what?
Right? But the big draw here is Warren's new device, which is a cerebral dampener.
Now, okay, I guess
We fully crossed over into comic storylines. Like, this is a little outside.
cerebral dampener.
Uh-huh.
Now, at first, I thought it was just like for a hot second, I had just remembered it being called the dampener or something. And I was like, why? Why? Are we talking about panties? Is that why? Because, but no, I guess cerebral, it dampens the cerebral cortex. What?
I guess.
It's the cerebral lobe. What?
Ugh.
So basically, this thing is supposed to hypnotize people to do what you want.
Yes.
Or something.
And their big idea is to make girls have sex with them.
Which, like, I don't understand why it takes so long for Jonathan and Andrew to be like, holy shit, this is wrong.
Previous.
Right?
Like, they
Like, even back then, it was fucked up. Like, when it originally aired, I was like, ew.
Right. But they're all on board with it, and they are very excited because they're going to go get all the chicks and blah, blah, blah.
And meanwhile, Buffy's still pulling down shifts at the Double Meat Palace, and she's trying out adorable little slogans. Like, she tells that one customer, double meat is double sweet.
Yeah.
And she's waiting for Tara, Tara's coming. She's had Tara looking into the spell that brought Buffy back because she thinks there's something wrong with her.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Tara tells her that there's nothing wrong with her, other than like a deep cellular tan.
Right. And we get down there. But yeah, so Buffy asks her to look into it. She says she will. This is at this point, but Tara's the only one that Buffy has confided in, saying that Spike can hurt her. And so this is why, Buffy is want Tara to do this. In the meantime, the trio go off to a bar.
Bar. Is it the Bronze?
No. They go to some,
It's not the Bronze?
No, it is a bar that is not the Bronze. It is a very adult looking hotel, or a very adult looking bar. Like, it could be a hotel bar. They are serving martinis in this bar. Whatever this is. And Warren has a ridiculous suit on. And he's going there. They're going there specifically to troll and find, I guess, a higher class type of woman or something like that. But Warren obviously is stalking Katrina. He sees Katrina there, and Warren is so gross. He's so gross.
So gross.
Like, just wait, every time he says baby, it just makes I want to peel my skin off. Like, every time he calls her that, and he rolls up on her with this tired ass line of I don't even what did he say? Like, how did you get so beautiful? And like she turns around, she's ready to basically give him the step off creep, but then she realizes it's Warren, so she gives him an extra step off creep. So Katrina's hanging out at this upper scale bar,
wine bar.
Yeah, it's a wine bar. How did they even hook up in the first place? Like, I don't understand. Like, she is
college
far too good for him.
They were dating in college.
Yeah,
and
but
they were both in the same.
But this was like last year.
Yeah.
It was.
I don't. Why is she even there? Why is she still there? She has grown up though.
Yeah.
And she's like She's shook.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't want anything to do with him.
Because, and rightfully so, because what she recalls is he made a robot girlfriend before he and Katrina got together, and then that robot girlfriend tried to kill her. So I mean, she's got all sorts of reasons to be creeped out and spooked and shook and just ready to like.
And the fact that he's just like, "Oh, you're not still upset about that thing." Yes.
Almost being murdered. Yeah. A little bit. People tend to hold a grudge about those things.
Right. And even she says she doesn't know why she lowered herself to date a person like him.
Word.
And his eyes are just, they come at you too much. They scream stranger danger.
Yes.
I don't know why no one notices it in his world on Buffy. You should all run.
Yeah,
everything see him coming.
Everything about him, like his whole stature and just how he holds himself. And then, okay, so she's getting ready to leave, and then he whips out the dampener and then hypnotizes her, and she's all, "I love you, master."
Right in front of a room full of people.
Right. But I mean, I guess, what are you gonna say? Like, what do you tell the police? He pulled out a ball and it shined, flashed, and then she called him master.
And then he took her away. Buffy's about to, everybody else is going out to the Bronze to have some adult fun. And Buffy she just wants to settle into the couch and hang out with Dawn.
And Dawn's like, "Deuces, I got plans."
Yep. She says she's going to hang out with Janice, and Buffy's like, "I'm falling for this." Why?
Which, thank you for addressing this. I appreciate the nod. And Willow chimes in and says, "I checked. It's cool. I actually, like, Janice's mom is actually coming to pick her up." Which, okay,
still,
finally.
I feel like, no.
You're not allowed to do anything. So Dawn points out that, I didn't tell you because I didn't think you'd care because you're never here. Ouch. And Buffy feels some kind of way about that. And Buffy's like,
she just looks like she got slapped, and she doesn't even, Dawn doesn't even wait for a response. She's just like,
"Okay, bye. Gonna go make tacos."
So then Buffy is like, "Yeah, frosty nectar now, please. My life is shit. Y'all have no idea how much I need booze right now."
Right. I am so low right now. I'm feeling so low. Back at the trio's lair, we've got Katrina dressed up in a French maid's costume, which so cliche.
It's so disgusting.
And she's fishnet, and she's pouring them, she's pouring them champagne, and they all cheers to crime. And then Andrew takes a swig, and he's like, "Crime tastes funny."
Almost everything Tom Lank does in this scene is just,
I know, it's just pure comedic gold.
Yep.
And so, so did we think it was gross enough and just wrong enough already for Warren to go track down stalk his ex-girlfriend and hypnotize her into being his sex bunny? No, it gets worse. She comes back and, "Oh yeah, the French maid's costume. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh yeah, the master. Yeah, that's pretty bad too. But now his plan is to share her with these other two dudes
who have no idea that she is his ex-girlfriend."
Exactly. And and then no point is anybody, Warren, no, at no point do Jonathan and Andrew find this weird or gross or icky or wrong.
Nope. They're just like, "When do I get to play with her?"
Right. Exactly. And there's this whole thing where, they're just like, "She's cool, she's cute," or whatever. And then Warren gets offended and starts talking about all of her wonderful qualities that he loves and blah, blah, blah. And
it's all gross.
And he goes on to talk about how, you can have her when I'm done. Ugh. He takes her into the other room, and it just gets even more.
We unfortunately have to watch him eat her face.
It's so gross. juice. And
then there's a really nasty line about knees.
Gets so worse. Like he goes on and on, talks about, you never should have left me, baby. I love you. Oh, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And then he's just like, and he keeps on like chomping at her face. And then finally he's like, tell me you love me. And the look on his face is just pure evil when he like goes in to just like chomp her her fucking molars out, and then and then he's like now down on your knees. Oh, I am so
and
disturbed.
Instead of saying yes, master,
so disturbed,
she says yes, Warren,
and snaps out of.
And he snaps out of the moment, and he's like, what did you call me? And she's like, I called.
She's like,
and then she snaps out of it like, motherfuck, what the hell? And rightfully she goes off.
Right. I also have a quick question about like why did they have to share a girl? Like we didn't find out until later that the dampener like gets run out of juice quickly. But like nobody had a plan to like, okay, now I'm going to get my own girl. Not to say it would have been better, but still, just a question.
Right.
So she comes out and sees Jonathan and Andrew, and Warren's like, get the dampener, get her again, and it's out of juice. Mm-hmm. They get ready. They try to hypnotize him.
Jonathan's really upset because he couldn't find his glasses in time. Would it have made him? Would it have dampened him as well?
I was thinking the same thing, like picturing Jonathan saying, "Love you, master."
Love you, master.
So, Katrina goes off to Warren and is talking about how she's not his girlfriend anymore. And now Andrew and Jonathan have a problem with it. This is your ex-girlfriend?
Like,
that's messed up. Now it's messed up? Just because it's his ex-girlfriend?
No. It was messed up before then.
Right.
You just... I don't see what the difference is.
Right. And so she goes on, and then she talks about, and she's like, you guys are a bunch of fucking morons, little boys playing at men, blah, blah, blah. You know what, freaks? This is rape. And this snaps Andrew and Jonathan like, whoa, hey, ho. And then she's like, yeah, that's what the fuck it is, bitches. And then she turns to Warren and she's like, I'm telling on you, I'm getting the cops. And then I want to know how you feel about being raped. Ooh. Oh, this is
okay, Katrina. Woo.
That seems. I mean, I appreciate the reality of it. Yes, absolutely. This is but it just shocked me that it was put into this script.
Yeah,
that she actually was able. They were able to say this word 2-3 times actually,
and get it past the censors.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And then to even like switch it to jail rape. Basically,
I wonder. It didn't have a TVMA, I don't think. Or did it?
I don't recall. And so this gets Warren all hot and whatever, and she tries to run away. She scratches the shit out of him in his face, and then he hits her over the head with the champagne bottle, and she'd be dead.
And he murdered her.
Mm-hmm. Murder.
He, not Andrew.
Nope.
Not Jonathan. He did. But for some reason, it's all their fault. He says.
At this
they
point,
all share in this blame.
At this point, Jonathan and Andrew are very shaken.
Which, get some balls, boys.
Right.
Give your balls a tug. Call the cops. Be like, my dude just killed his ex-girlfriend.
Right. I'm out.
I saw it happen.
Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, tell them. Yeah, tell them I conjured some demons. Tell the police that I cast a spell. Sure. Whatever.
Sure.
But no, I'm going to know right now. I saw you murder your ex-girlfriend with a champagne bottle. There is nothing
Whose
mystical.
DNA's under her nails.
Right. Nothing mystical about any of this.
No. But instead, they talk about different ways to get rid of her body.
Andrew is like on the verge of tears. Like,
yes,
for real.
Poor baby needs a hug.
He does. And Warren asks, is there something he can conjure that can consume that much flesh? Andrew points out there's something.
I hate you, Warren.
I know, right? And he even starts referring to her as it. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to get rid of it. Andrew says that, there's one thing that he could, but it's he can't control it. Like, he could get some demon, but it would turn on them too.
It eat us. And Jonathan turns into Bill Paxton, and that's it. Game over, man. We're screwed. That's it. And he's like, no. We can figure it out. And he's like, no, we're fucked because she's your ex-girlfriend. There's a link. They're gonna know.
Exactly. Andrew suggests that maybe, they should turn themselves in because it was an accident. But no, no, darling, it was not an accident.
No.
And then I believe that Jonathan brings up Buffy. It's like, even if, the police don't find out, like, that we still got the Slayer on us. And then, Warren comes up with some solution for both the body and the Slayer.
One big stone.
Yep. Meanwhile, the Slayer is kicking it at the Bronze with her friends, and Xander is making quite the mockery of himself on that dance floor. It embarrasses me. It really hurts my feelings.
I think it's I read somewhere it's the same dance that they did in Once More with Feeling.
Oh, really? Like the fucking bastardized version? The version that you get after you've have no longer been practicing it, and you have no longer had the supervision of a choreographer? Because that's what that is. This is where my burn of the week comes in, and I don't know if this is on Willow herself or if it's on Xander and Anya. But she comments to Buffy about how they're dancing, and she's like, "We're not going to have to do that at the wedding because there's this last shred of dignity that I've been clinging to."
And I think it's like, I wouldn't want to have to dance like that at their wedding either. I'm not swing dancing or whatever.
I don't know what they're doing.
I'm not doing it.
But no, I mean, at that point, it's the only people that have to dance a certain way would be the bride and the groom.
Right.
Like, if that's what they're trying to do.
That.
Right. Unless, no. So, they're going on and on and on. And I don't know. They're trying to coax Buffy and Willow to go dance or whatever. And Willow goes to dance. Buffy, who's looking rather cute. I like her outfit. Even though I'm really not
sure about the necklace.
I'm not really a fan of those chokers in any way, shape, or form, or like the loose pieces of fucking leather strapped around your neck, which was all the rage in the late 90s, early 2000s. But Buffy, she's pulling it off. So she gets a little sad or something, I don't know, forlorn, and she starts to wander around the Bronze and finds her way up to the balcony where, yikes.
Well, behold our man Spike looking all good.
Just come strolling out of the darkness, just out of the shadows. I don't know how long he's been there. Has he been watching her all night, or did he just get here and just been waiting?
And for the first time in history, there's no one else on this balcony.
As soon as she rolls up there, like, people start to leave. Like, really? Because that place looks pretty crowded. I can't see everybody just vacating the balcony. A balcony is a coveted spot at a club.
Very coveted. But nope, they're up there all alone, and Mr. Bendy Dick decides this is going to be a good time to just have at it in the bar.
Like, I mean, the way he's talking, I can't be mad at her. Like, yeah, Buffy,
I can't be mad.
Right, you're right.
I'd have been like, what? Wait, what's happening? I guess this is happening.
He is absolutely saying and doing and looking all of the right things. Mm-hmm. And he's just, So,
and then you start to hear the things that he's saying, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, this is kind of wrong.
So wrong.
I don't feel good about any of this.
And she tries to tell him, she gives him a weak don't, and he's like, stop me. And I'm not even sure if we're talking actual intercourse here, if he's just, very good piano player.
I think that's what he got in Mr. Bendy Dick. It bends in angles that defy logic.
Okay, Vamps. Well, I guess that's another plus in the Vamp column.
In the Vamp column? And she tries to close her eyes, and he tells her not to. He wants her to look at her friends.
Which, I mean, that kind of would have put me off a little bit.
Like, wait, what?
No, that's not what I'm not trying to associate this moment with Anya.
And Xander, who are doing the worst dance. She doesn't even know she's supposed to be spinning. Right. And he just spins her out of nowhere. Willow's looking all uncomfortable. It's not something you want to be looking at in that moment.
No, not at all. Next day, Xander's complaining about some dance cramps as they're walking towards the magic box, he's walking towards the magic box with Willow and Tara. They run into Tara coming out. Tara and Willow have a very awkward moment, mostly on Tara's part, which I feel kind of bad for her. She's super awkward about that. about this right now.
There's so much double talk in this exchange.
Mm,
You know, talking about how Buffy must miss her
yeah,
friend. You know,
right.
when she's. Ugh.
We miss her too.
Just say what you mean.
And Tara's got, like, she's there looking for Buffy. She's got this giant book, and she looks a little like sheepish because, like, oh God, you know, I guess, like, you know, coming out of a, I don't know, crack den and meeting a crack addict or something, a recovering addict. But she looks a little embarrassed for a lot of reasons, I'm sure. But Willow tries to be like, yeah, it's cool, you know, whatever. I've 32 days, no spells. I can even go to the magic box now as long as I've been supervised. Everything's cool. Just because I can't do magic doesn't mean you can't do magic, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I know.
I wasn't saying all that.
Nobody ever said that. About that. And nobody was talking about you. I don't care. Good for you. I mean,
right.
Good on you.
Well done. And before, you know, once this uncomfortable conversation ends, Tara gives her a happy for you and takes off.
And the outfit choices in this scene, Willow, I saw in the Buffy wiki, is actually wearing the outfit when she turns dark.
Yeah.
Into Dark Willow.
I recognize the outer shirt.
And I don't know what the hell Tara's wearing. She's
know.
like wearing a silk kimono top.
It's like a slip. Remember, yeah, they sold those. Those were a thing.
They did.
Slip
they
dresses.
were a thing.
Slip
and then
skirts.
the most wonderful thing in the episode happens.
Ah!
And I can't remember, but we did not live together by this point in time.
No, I don't think so.
But I feel like I fell over myself trying to get to the phone.
I think I was just falling over myself when it happened.
Like, do you hear this? It's Bush on Buffy.
How fantastically amazing.
And it is a good song.
Out of This World, if y'all are not familiar, it's a very good song, and you should just go listen to it on repeat for a day or so.
With this scene, because it's a really great scene, except for the placement of Spike's one hand on the door.
So, you know, and this is also, like, it's a good scene, but it's also kind of misplaced because it's like we never really got anything like this before, and we don't really get anything, like, artistically since.
Yeah.
So, and it's just kind of, it's odd placed. It's very memorable, probably because there's not a lot to compare it to in this series, but you know, it's I'm happy it's here, but it's also like, well, why couldn't we do more like things like this, like use actual music and songs that are popular? And I mean, I guess, you know, we ran out of budget, but I'm also it's like when Spike is getting it on the regular, he's a whole different dude.
He really is. He really, really is.
So he's just like chilling in his crypt, and this is just like unprecedented. Like, again, I don't recall ever seeing him like this really before.
Like the private life of Spike.
Yeah, like he's just standing in what would be a kitchen with like some candles, and he's pouring himself a glass of blood or wine, not sure. And he's
not sure.
Standing there with his shirt open, and he's like real relaxed right now and just like real chill. And then he takes a drag off his ciggy, and you know, like it's just, you know, my dude is like decompressing after a long day.
Yes.
Is what this looks
yes.
like.
Might as well be a whiskey and a
right. And then he gets a whiff or a notion that Buffy is outside. Buffy is walking or stalking towards his crypt, and I think she's got a stake in her hand.
She does. I'm assuming that she was just on patrol, and patrol just led her absent-minded, because she doesn't look like she has any direction at all. She just ended up there.
Right. So she gets there, and she hangs out on the one side of the door, like doesn't knock or anything or say anything, and Spike is already on the other side of the door, and he's molesting the door.
It's real. Yes, he's molesting the door. It's really like the one hand, like she had her one hand up, and he put his hand right where her hand is, and that was very cute. Mm-hmm. It's the other hand.
And then he slides down somewhere else.
Like, come on. She can't even. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's like literally like writhing up against the stove.
Yes. And the door is just like, hey, I don't have tits. You don't have to squeeze or turn or whatever you're doing.
I didn't sign up for this. This is not my purpose in life. Please stop.
But then Spike like triumphantly opens the door and she's gone.
He's like,
So like you felt her come, but you didn't feel her leave.
right. He was too into that, like feeling
The
up that
door.
door. He kind of lost himself for a second.
And he gets kind of upset
Yeah.
that she's gone. And she's a little more upset, telling herself to not think about the blood-sucking fiend. Think about anything but the blood.
Exactly. She's trying to like talk herself out of the whole thing. It's like, don't go back. Like basically, it's like, stop it, Buffy. Like it's not worth it. Bendy Dick is not worth it. And then she hears a scream, and shit goes awry.
Shit goes real awry. It's so strange. She sees a girl being attacked by a couple demons. She tries to intervene, and then it gets all like acid trip.
Yeah, it's just too much. So like Buffy's there by herself. Then she sees Katrina crying in the corner. Then there's like 3 demons coming at her. And then she punches Spike out of nowhere. And he's like, what'd you do that for? And then it's just like, then time and energy and everything is just misplaced. And she's fighting demons. Spike is fighting demons. Katrina's somewhere crying. And eventually it gets to the point where Buffy like stakes Katrina or something.
Yep. She fucked her up somehow. She threw her down a hill.
Yeah. And Katrina's dead.
And Katrina's real dead body
Right.
is at the bottom of this hill. Because we all know she's already dead, but there is now her dead body.
Right. So now Buffy thinks that she has killed Katrina.
And Spike, being the ever loyal man that he is, immediately wants to solve this.
Right.
And get rid of everything and tells Buffy to go home and go to sleep. And she's just shell-shocked and confused.
Right.
Which you should be.
Yeah.
Nothing about what just happened in the past 15 minutes was normal.
Nope. And the trio are watching all of this take place. And it turns out that Jonathan was, it was a glamour. He was Katrina, to actively like walk around or whatever before Buffy found that Katrina's real body.
He's so upset.
He is.
I don't, the level of emotion that he has in that van, I don't know why he continued to go along with this.
Exactly. Like he was done.
Mean mugging Warren. He's pissed.
Right.
He's upset. He's uncomfortable.
Like
I don't know what kept him from turning him in.
No reason, unless it was just fear-based, that he was either scared of Warren. Yeah, which
I guess.
Which I still don't. I mean, I guess Warren spent so much time bullying him, or Jonathan has just been bullied for so long, so much that it Stockholm syndrome or something.
Yeah.
So Buffy does go home and tries to sleep, and has some more fucked up dreams.
Real fucked up dreams. Erotic, violent.
Mm-hmm.
Confusing. She somehow got Katrina in there.
Right, exactly. Like, so there's like some very confusing things that are happening. So she can't take it anymore. She believes her conscience is really weighing in on her. So she decides to go turn herself in. She goes and wakes up Dawn to tell her this is what's happening. And Dawn takes this opportunity to make it all about her.
Although she does look like she woke up a woman.
Right? Like she's definitely on the other side of puberty in this scene. Like, Dawn.
It's like, Dawn?
How long was
Different Dawn?
How long has it been since we last shot?
But there's it's a night. No, I don't even want to say a nice scene between them, but Buffy very sweetly is trying to say goodbye to Dawn.
Buffy tries to make it a nice scene, but then again, like I said, Dawn just makes it about herself.
And she's mad that she's going to get abandoned yet again.
Which, yeah.
I guess, because Hank doesn't care about you, so what happens next?
But it's not even about, like, I mean, I'm sure that's the underlying problem is the abandonment. But, she's just like, she tries to make it feel like Buffy is trying to do any and everything that she can do not to be there with Dawn. Just like, you didn't want to come back. You liked it better when you were dead, and you just don't want to be here with me. And Buffy's trying to tell her that's really not what's happening right now. And John's like, no, fuck it. You're done with your...
I mean, you're right. I mean, true. I mean, no, but really.
It's not... Don't take this personally. This is not about you. I need you to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
And she's not, it's about her. It's all about how Dawn feels. And Dawn, once again, is just like, get out, but I'll get out. And she runs off.
Right.
And apparently Buffy didn't care that much because she's just kind of like, well, gee, guess she's mad now. Back to what I was going to do anyway.
Right. Guess I got to go talk to the police.
Which, okay. But Spike is there to stop her. Because he knew that she would do this.
So my thing is, though, I mean, I guess maybe she just, she tries to act surprised. He's like, I took care of the body. And she's like, what did you do? But it's like, you left the scene of the crime. Mm-hmm. You left the body there and went home and took a nap. Like, yeah. What did you think was going to happen? Like, what did you think was going to happen to the body? What did you think the Spike was going to do? Like, it was just going to leave it there? And this is another kind of a burn. Because this cracks me the fuck up. She's like, what did you do to the body? And he's like, they'll never find her. And then they're standing outside of the police station. He's like, they'll never find her. And you hear a cop, where'd they find her? The river. She washed up half a mile from the cemetery. And Spike's like, oh, balls.
Now, one interesting that is often talked about in this episode is how this whole scene kind of mirrors what happened between Faith and Buffy back in season 3 when Faith accidentally killed the lieutenant governor.
Right.
And, Buffy's like, what did you do? And she's like, I took the body, I weighted it, I dumped it, it's gone, we're not going to talk about it again.
Right.
And Spike has that same mentality of, I took it, I got rid of it, it's gone, we're not going to talk about it again. Except he's not as good at getting rid of bodies as Faith is.
I guess he forgot to weight it. That's probably what it was.
He probably just threw it in like the tip of the river.
Right. Like, Spike, come on now. Like, you be better. Like, how many? Well, I guess he just never had to really dispose of bodies.
No,
he didn't give a shit.
Left them.
Yeah, he didn't care in the past. So, okay, I get it. You have no real experience in this. So Spike tries to convince her to not turn herself in. He keeps talking, I love you. And Buffy is not in a place to hear this right now.
No, not at all. Instead, she's in a very punchy mood.
Yeah, so she takes all of her frustration and anger and fucked up days and double meat palace wages and grease-soaked nights out on Spike. And
he tells her to continue. He tells her not to stop, to keep going, that he can take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it for the first time, and every time after, it's too much for me. I actually end up saying, stop, like, stop. And I have to close my eyes, and I can't watch it after a certain point because it's too much.
It is, because there is a line that's definitely crossed that she just goes on and on. Like, she just gets on top of him and starts wailing, and his face is getting bloodier and puffier, and it's insane. And she's in tears. And she's also taking, not only is she physically hurting him, she is like also just like tearing him down, like character assassination at this point. Like, you're dead inside. There's nothing clean or good about you. You're shit. And I hate myself for being with you. And just on and on and on and on and on. Just lets it all out.
And then once his face is almost beyond recognition, she finally stops. And you can see she's kind of broken.
Yeah.
And he says, you always hurt the ones you love. And she kind of like stumbles backwards and she's still going to go.
Yeah.
And turn herself in. And he is too hurt to stop her, even though he still tries.
He's like, Buffy. And what's funny is that this all happens outside of the police station, mind you, and nobody comes by to says boo about any of it.
Not one person. Not one single person.
So she goes in and tries to talk to the, I guess, cop receptionist. You know, I've never been inside of a police station, so I don't know if these things, how these are actually set up. But this is.
But every movie, every show always has a cop receptionist.
Exactly. They're always like right there at the front of the door, waiting to take a statement or something. And they're always too busy to take a statement from the person who's coming in to turn themselves in. So he shoos her away. He's like, oh, hold on. I got to answer this call. She turns her back. She overhears him say, like, that they have ID'd the body. It's Katrina Silber. She puts two and two together. Holy snaps. That's Warren's ex-girlfriend. And then she pieces out. Now she realizes something is afoot.
Which maybe if you had done the Scooby Gang thing and done a little bit of research, a little bit of investigation, or looked at her face, you might have known that you'd met her before.
Exactly. Or even just
because the flashback that they play, you really remembered that exact memory, Buffy?
So like her face, you remembered her full ass name before you remembered her face? Like you didn't see that? You didn't take a look, think to look at her? And also just everything that was going on around it, like the whole speeding up of like her whole timeline was all jacked up, and you've been there before. That had happened before. So why would you just automatically assume she's just ready to punish herself, I guess? Which we'll find out. Yes. And so the gang finds out, or Anya, which in Giles's absence, Anya steps up her game.
She does
a lot with, helping to identify demons and spells and things. And even before that, she would always have something extra helpful to add because, she had a lot of firsthand experience.
Yeah.
Nobody
people would listen or treat her better.
Exactly. Nobody gives her the proper credit, especially Xander. Mm-hmm. Like there should be more, you bring much more to the table than everybody wants to let you believe.
And I can't believe how the first couple times watching it, how much I love them and supported that relationship.
Right.
But watching it as a full grown adult, they were never meant to be together.
No.
It's toxic.
So Anya points out, she identifies this demon that Buffy ran into, and she says, that what they do is they basically cause hallucinations and they fuck up your timeline. They live in a different timeline. Just them being there is just kind of messes things up. And, it's not a good thing to have to deal with them.
Yeah. They're not good demons.
Dawn says, so does this mean you're not going to leave me? And Buffy's like, nope, I'm not. And tries to go over and have a tender moment.
Not about you still.
Tries to have a tender moment. And Dawn storms off into the back.
Again.
Buffy also points out to them that, this is Warren's ex-girlfriend, and they have to have had something to do with this. Meanwhile, Warren and them are looking up on the police. I don't know. They look it up. They find out that everything has been ruled a suicide. And Warren says, we're going to get away with this. Now, since they're going to get away with it, Andrew's kind of into it now.
Yeah. He's super stoked that they're going to get away with murder.
And Jonathan is still unsettled. Mm-hmm. He's not buying into it.
Not at all, and yet he still, for the rest of the season, goes along with it.
Right.
You can see a sort of hero worshipping happening between Andrew and Warren.
Right. Warren is very proud of himself, and Andrew is very much in awe of him right now.
And this is kind of where the separation starts to happen between the trio. It's really a duo from this moment on. Mm-hmm. And a hanger-on.
Right. And just, he has nothing else better to do, or he's literally like scared for his life.
Mm-hmm. And we will find out later that they've been plotting against him a lot of the time.
Yeah. So, to close out, we've got Tara giving Buffy the news. Hey, there's nothing really wrong with you. You're not a demon. You just just the whole thing of having your essence funneled back into your body, kind of like something science with something magic and something molecules and a bad sunburn. So there's nothing wrong, Buffy. It's just, kind of things got a little out of whack. And so Spike's sensors weren't meant to deal with that per se.
And she's like, delivering good news. She's just got this happy tone about it. Like,
Right.
it's okay, you're okay. And Buffy's face is just like horrified.
Mm-hmm. This is another
Absolutely horrified.
This is another good acting moment for Sarah.
It is.
We don't get a lot of them that I'm impressed with by her in this series. And it's not to say, you know, anything against Sarah. It's just that, you know, a lot of times the show doesn't really offer that much deep, like, acting chops to be, like, pulled out from anybody. But, you know, Buffy's, like, she's got the fucking forever tears happening where they just well up and just sit there for 20 minutes before they finally drop. And, you know, Buffy's just like, you know, something has to be wrong with me or else. And then she confesses more to Tara, like, why would I let Spike do those things to me? And
Tara doesn't get it for a second. She's just kind of like,
why would you? Oh, so you mean to tell me that? Oh, okay.
And the thing that makes me love Tara, if anything on the show made me love her, it's her reaction.
I know.
She is nothing but supportive.
Right. She's like, it takes her a minute to catch it, takes her a minute to go ahead and swallow it, but then she's like there like instantly. There's no judgment whatsoever. She's just like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You know, Spike has done a lot of good like lately, and you know, it's completely understandable. And then she even asked, just, do you love him? And Buffy's like, I don't know.
The eternal question.
And then even Tara's like, you know what? And it's fine if you don't. Like, you know what? Sex is sex. Like, sometimes you just got to get your rocks off. But Buffy is really fucked up about this. Yeah. She very much hates herself for doing or allowing herself to be with Spike. And she's also mentions how she couldn't stand the way everybody else would look at her. And
please don't tell anyone.
Which, I'm going to tell you right now, Tara, much better friend than the rest of those jokers, if that's what you're concerned about right now.
Yep. She's the best friend that Buffy has.
Right.
And she's not going to tell anyone. And she even kind of has that look on her face like, you shouldn't even worry about that. You know, just, oh, baby girl, come here. And Buffy just kind of collapses into her lap.
She does. And she also gets to the point where she's like, you can't, like, don't forgive me. Don't let me off the hook about this. And she's just crying in Tara's lap. And once again, Tara becomes mom to one of the Summers ladies. Yep.
She fulfills that role, and she fulfills it well.
Right. So Buffy is like kind of bent out for a lot of reasons, like because she's allowing herself to have sex with Spike, because of, I guess, the debauchery that goes along with having sex with Spike, because she's keeping it a secret, because she doesn't really love him or even really like him, and so now she feel like she's using him. She's like, I don't like, does that make it better? I am using him, and she can't stop. This is compulsive behavior for her, and so she is just all out of whack. And she is,
not to mention, she's working at a fast food place.
Right.
She really wishes she was not alive again.
Right. There's
she hasn't even unpacked that.
Right.
Buffy needs therapy.
So badly. Or at least like somebody get her a nice self-help book or something. Right. Some tapes to listen to.
Teledoc. Just she needs a helpline.
Because she's going through a lot alone. Mm-hmm. But luckily, at this point now we have Tara, who has her secret and who's there to kind of be her support system that she needs as much as she'll allow it to happen.
And so this is like the beginning of a very sweet little friendship that forms between her and Tara.
Right, which kind of feels like before, Buffy barely really gave Tara the time of day.
No, she didn't understand or anything about her. Even in that episode where Tara's birthday, she was like, I saw this really cute dress at Bloomie's, but I think I want me to have it.
Right. Yeah, their whole thing was like, we know Tara likes Willow and we like Willow. So that's the only thing we know that Tara likes.
If anyone had actually gotten to know her, she could have been a really important Scooby.
Right. She's
more than she even is.
She's such a good person.
Mm-hmm. But that's the end of the episode. We had a few bodies dropped this week. Katrina was murdered by Warren. Just want to make that clear. 2 Rescindy demons were killed by Spike, and 1 was killed by Buffy.
This does pass the Bechdel test with Dawn and Buffy talking about Buffy.
Mm-hmm. Random trivia. Sarah didn't like the way her character was treated in this episode.
Yeah.
She is quoted as having said, "I had trouble with the one where Buffy had sex with Spike on the balcony while watching their friends. I really thought that was out of character, and I didn't like what it stood for. That was the moment I had the most problem with."
That's the whole point. Everything she's doing with Spike is out of character.
Yeah. And the Stephen DeKnight was also quoted as having said, it was unfortunate that that storyline came up. He said he didn't write it in there, that it was something that Joss had in his mind for the season, and it just so happened to come up in his episode.
The balcony?
Yeah. And so he said it was unfortunate that it was him, but that the way that the episode actually comes together, it's one of his favorite episodes.
I agree. I think it was very well done and put together. This is a turning point for a lot of characters. Mm-hmm. The trio, they have graduated to murder full on. Like they've been doing a lot of shitty stuff. Now they're on to murder, and Buffy has done all that she thinks that she has gone as far as she believes that she should go with Spike, and she is now she's reached out to someone for help to help her stop. So yeah, this is a turning point. This is a really good episode, actually. This is
because she's got to treat that trio as now a credible threat. Before they were just a mild annoyance.
Right.
Now they're an actual credible threat, but they're still a very human threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they keep using supernatural means to enhance their crime and
exactly. So the moral of this story, I would imagine, is we need people, and we need friends. We need people that we can trust. Most importantly, just to be able to talk to and talk things out. And if you are doing things that you feel are out of character, that you need to reach out to somebody for some help, even if it's not as a therapist. If you can't afford or can't find or don't feel comfortable with, you need to find somebody to talk to about things.
Especially in this unprecedented quarantine pandemic time.
Yeah, man. Shit's rough.
We need people more than we ever have before, because humans are a very social being, and we are not allowed to be social right now. Mm-hmm.
So let us know what you thought of Dead Things. You can record an MP3 file less than 2 minutes, please, and email it to revisitingsunnydale@gmail.com, or you can get at us on Twitter at Back to Sunnydale, or on Instagram you can talk to us at RVS_podcast, or we're also still on Facebook, or at least Marcella and the Revisiting Sunnydale page are still on Facebook. And also you can find our podcast on iTunes, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Player FM, all of the places, mostly except for Spotify, that you find your podcasts, and subscribe and leave us a review, please, and follow us and all that stuff. Please and thank you. Next week, we are talking Older and Farther Away. A Buffy birthday.
A Buffy birthday, which means nothing is going to go well.
Exactly.
Has it ever gone well? Has she ever had a successful birthday? I don't think so.
Nope. All her birthdays have been kind of poop-tastic. So you can follow me, Camila, on Twitter at @the_rugged angel.
Or me, Marcella, at Sphere7338.
Thank you for listening. As always, we hope to hear from y'all on the social medias and stuff. Talk to us and all that jazz. And until next time.